As you would have noticed over the last 1 year or so, the announcements made under Part B of the MPC statement, which are outside the remit of the Monetary Policy Committee, have had significant role in enabling us as an economy to deal with the challenges emerging from the pandemic. We have also been able to undertake certain major reform measures and certain major policy. We have also announced certain policy decisions which have facilitated the creation of a better ecosystem for our economy to function, not only in the context of the pandemic, but even otherwise. The announcements are as follows. First, the first announcement relates to TLTRO on-tap scheme extension of deadline. With a view to increasing the focus of liquidity measures on revival of activity in specific sectors, the TLTRO on-tap scheme announced on October 9, 2020, which was made available up to March 31st, 2021, is now being further extended by a period of 6 months, that is up to September 30, 2021. Next announcement relates to liquidity facility for all India financial institutions. Special refinance facilities of rupees 75,000 crore were provided to all India financial institutions like NABARD, SIDBI, NHB and Exim Bank during April to August 2020. To nurture the still nascent growth impulses, it is felt necessary to support continued flow of credit to the real economy. Accordingly, liquidity support of rupees 50,000 crores for fresh lending during 2021 will be provided to all India financial institutions, and this will consist of rupees 25,000 crore to NABARD, rupees 10,000 crore to National Housing Bank and rupees 15,000 crore to SIDBI. The next announcement relates to enhancement of limit of maximum balance for payment banks. With a view to furthering the financial inclusion and to expand the ability of payment banks to cater to the growing needs of their customers, the current limit on maximum end-of-day balance of rupees 1 lakh per individual customer is being increased to rupees 2 lakh with immediate effect. Next announcement relates to ARCs, asset reconstruction companies. Asset reconstruction companies, that is ARCs, play an important role in the resolution of stressed assets. Their potential, however, is yet to be fully realized. It is therefore proposed to constitute a committee to undertake a comprehensive review of the working of ARCs and recommend measures to enable these entities to meet the growing requirements of the financial sector. Next relates to permitting banks to on-lend through NBFCs. Recognizing the key role played by NBFCs in making credit available to the last mile, bank lending to registered NBFCs other than MFIs for on-lending to agriculture, MSME and housing was permitted to be classified as priority sector lending. This dispensation, which was available from 13th August 2019 till March 31, 2021, is being further extended for another 6 months up to September 30, 2021. Next announcement relates to enhancement of loan limit against negotiable warehouse receipts. With a view to encouraging farm credit to individual farmers against pledge hypothecation of agricultural produce, it has been decided to enhance the loan limit under priority sector lending from rupees 50 lakh to rupees 75 lakh per borrower against pledge or hypothecation of agricultural produce backed by negotiable warehouse receipts as well as electronic negotiable warehouse receipts issued by warehouses registered with the Warehousing Development and Regulatory Authority. For other warehouse receipts, the loan limit for classification under PSL will continue to be rupees 50 lakh per borrower. Financial Inclusion Index. Financial inclusion has been a thrust area for the government, the Reserve Bank and other regulators, with significant progress made under this approach over the years. To measure the extent of financial inclusion in the country, the Reserve Bank proposes to construct and publish a financial inclusion index, FI index based on multiple parameters. This will be published in July every year for the financial year ending previous March. Next, I turn to centralized payment systems. That is, we are extending the facility, membership under centralized payment systems, that is RTGS and NEFT, to entities other than banks. Let me elaborate. Membership to the RBI operated centralized payment systems, that is RTGS and NEFT, is currently limited to banks with a few exceptions. It is now proposed to enable non-bank payment system operators like prepaid payment instruments, that is PPI issuers, card networks, white label ATM operators, and trades platforms regulated by the Reserve Bank to take direct membership in RTGS and NEFT. This facility is expected to minimize settlement risk in the financial system and enhance the reach of digital financial services to all user segments. We are also announcing interoperability of PPIs and increase in the account limit to 2 lakhs. Let me elaborate. The Reserve Bank had issued guidelines in October 2018 for adoption of interoperability on voluntary basis for full KYC prepaid payment instruments. As migration towards interoperability has not been significant, it is now proposed to make interoperability mandatory for full KYC PPIs and for all payment acceptance infrastructure. To incentivize migration of PPIs to full KYC, it is proposed to increase the current outstanding balance in such PPIs from rupees 1 lakh to rupees 2 lakh. Detailed circular on this will be issued separately, and we will provide adequate time for the entire process of transition to happen. Next, cash withdrawal from full KYC PPIs issued by non-banks. At present, cash withdrawal is allowed only for full KYC prepayment instruments. Prepaid payment instruments, that is PPIs, issued by banks. As a confidence boosting measure and to bring uniformity across PPI issuers, it is now proposed to allow cash withdrawals for full KYC PPIs of non-bank PPI users. This measure, in conjunction with the mandate for interoperability, will boost migration to full KYC PPIs and would also complement the acceptance infrastructure in tier 2 to tier 3 to tier 6 centers. Now, these announcements which I have made relating to the PPI, interoperability, etc., they are going to make significant contribution to our payment and settlement systems. They will also promote financial inclusion, and they will also enhance the reach of digital payments across the country. Next announcement relates to external commercial borrowings. Under the external commercial borrowing, that is ECB framework, borrowers are allowed to place ECB proceeds in term deposits with AD category 1 banks in India for a maximum period of 12 months. In view of the difficulty faced by borrowers due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been decided to permit parking of unutilized ECB proceeds drawn down on or before March 1st, 2020 in term deposits with AD category 1 banks in India prospectively up to 1st March 2022. And finally, one more announcement that relates to Ways and Means advance limit for states and UTs. We have decided to accept the recommendations of an advisory committee constituted by the Reserve Bank to review the Ways and Means advances limits for states and UT governments and other related issues. Accordingly, it has been decided to enhance the aggregate Ways and Means advance limit for all states and UTs to rupees 47,010 crore, which is an increase of about 46% from the current limit of rupees 32,225 crores, which was fixed in February 2016. Further, it has also been decided to continue the enhanced interim Ways and Means advance limit of rupees 51,560 crore granted by the RBI due to the pandemic for a further period of 6 months, that is up to September 30, 2021. Let me now try and conclude my statement. In contrast to the previous year, the hope generated by vaccination drives in several countries at the start of 2021 has been somewhat offset by rising infections and new mutant strains worldwide. Yet, the speed and collective endeavor with which the world mobilized scientific energies to develop vaccines and pandemic-related protocols that have now become a way of life give us hope and confidence that we will sail through this renewed second or third surge. Localized spurts in rates of infections will hopefully ebb in COVID-19 as the COVID-19 vaccination progresses. I truly believe in the indomitable spirit of human race which confronted the trial by virus during 2020 with resilience and fortitude, and the will to survive. Let 2021 be the harbinger of a new economic era for India. I conclude by a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, who continues to inspire us, and I quote, "If patience is worth anything, it must endure to the end of time, and a living faith will last in the midst of the blackest storm." Thank you, stay safe, stay well, namaskar.
तो आप देख रहे थे सीधा